Hello everyone, this is Mohammed from Python Ninja YouTube channel, and today we will learn together 2D collection in Python. So let's start by defining again what is a collection in Python. A collection is a single variable that is used to store multiple variables, as what we introduced in the context of list and tuple in Python. Now in this tutorial we will cover 2D collection, okay, which mean or refer to a list or a tuple that hold other lists or other tuples, okay? So TD collection refers to two-dimensional list, meaning that we have list of list or a tuple of tuples, okay? Or we have list of tuples, okay? And we have list of dictionaries. Dictionary data structure will be covered later, okay? Just we want to finish 2D collection and the related exercise of tuples and lists. Then we will go to cover the dictionary in Python. We will have in this tutorial some practice. So let's start by identifying 2D list. Okay, so we will have list 2D, which will be a list, okay, as what we learned together. But inside this list, there will be another list, and I add comma and then add another list, and I add as many as I want of these lists. Okay, let's us to print the type of this list in 2D, and now we will have this list. We print it, but we want to print its type, okay, and its type is a list. Okay, so let's design a list of foods, okay, which will contain, for example, pasta, okay, we will have pizza, we will have fish, and we will have upside down, okay, and we will have another list of beverages, okay, and we will insert inside its Coca-Cola. Then we will add Pepsi. Then we will add Sprite. Okay, let us add quotation. And we will add also Fanta. So we have two lists, okay, as what we learned in the list indexing, that we can access any item of this list, or we can print the list as follows. Okay, so now we can print list. We can print the last item of the list using the list indexing, and we can also do that for the other list. Okay, it's like the fundamental operation in the list. Now we can combine these lists together, this in 1D and this is in another 1D list, but we want to have now 2D list. Okay, so I have a restaurant now, restaurant, okay, and inside this restaurant we have food and we have beverage, okay, and we can print this restaurant and we will see it is a 2D list. So you can see there is outer bracket, okay, and there is an inner bracket for each list, and comma separate each list, and inside a list there is comma separate each item also. Now for the indexing of this list or slicing, it's different than what is exists for the 1D list, because if I want to print the first the first item of this 2D list, it will return me the whole list. Okay, let's print this, and we see now it is the whole list. But if I want to print the first item of this list, I have to add another index, okay, to print pasta, for example, and that is applied also for the other list that we have. Okay, now we can also iterate of this restaurant variable that contain 2D list, for example, for item and restaurant. Okay, we are in the restaurant now, and we will to print this item. Okay, now we will see that each list is printed, okay, separately, okay, and we also can, or we are able to print each item of this list, okay, if I use nested for loop. Go back please to the tutorial that cover for loop and nested for loop. You will find how to build the nested loop. But we can repeat it now, for example, for I and an item itself, or for let us to use, for example, type underscore an item, because I usually use I with integer. Okay, now we have to align this print, and I don't need to print the item. I want to print what is inside the list. Let us print this now. We can see that all items inside the list of lists are printed separately. Okay, the same is applied when I use, okay, tuples. Okay, now I have two lists and I designed another variable which is restaurant that hold these two lists. I can do like this. I can use the tuple and I can have a list of tuples. Okay, so now we have tuples here, foods and beverages, and I put these tuples inside a list. Okay, and when I print this, it will print also the same. Okay, nothing is a change. I can also use tuple of tuple, okay, like this. Okay, so I don't need to use list, okay, in the case if there is, for example, no need or no intention to use list in your code and you want to use tuple, you can in tuple, but in 2D tuple, for example, you can also have the tuple of tuple. It is work, and you can print your items in this way. So we covered list of list, we covered list of tuples, and we covered tuple of tuple, and all are the same. Okay, so if we check the type of this restaurant, it will be now a tuple. Okay, let us check this one, and now it's a tuple. Okay, so we can also have a list of sets. For example, if I need to use set within my code, and I have to add this quotation, okay, and I want to use set here, okay, so I can I have a tuple of set? Let's check. Yes, we have now tuple outside, and inside this tuple we have two sets, okay, and we can also iterate the same. So we can print also the first set here. For example, I want to print the index 0 of this tuple, and I can iterate inside this set, okay, as what we did. Now we can also have a list of sets. How can I do that? Just to use the list and just to have this restaurant variable in type of list. Then we will have a list of sets, okay, and we can print with to check if it's valid or not. We can print now, and yes, it's valid, and we can do slicing, indexing, and iterating. It's the same. So we covered now what do we mean of 2D collection in Python, which is a list of lists, a tuple of tuples, or a list of tuples, or a list of sets, or a tuple of sets. But I want to ask myself if there is a set of sets, and I think it is not, and there will be an error, and this error is associated to a hashable object or unhashable object. Yes, the type error here is unhashable type set, because this the set data structure in Python As I said, it doesn't respect the ordering, and its unique identifier is changeable. I will describe more about unhashable type when we learn together dictionary in Python, and that will be more clear when we will use, for example, list also or a list or a tuple as a key for the dictionary. That's guys for today's tutorial, and it's important to learn more about 2D collection and which situation I need to use list of list or a tuple of tuples or a tuple of list or a list of tuples or whatever you want to hold. Also, I want to end this tutorial by this. If you have two lists, okay, and you want to, for example, have a 2D list, but items in the first or in the second list are not equal to the item in the other list. So you can see here I have the 3 beverages and I have 4 foods. I can have a 2D list, for example. Let us repeat restaurant, okay, and in this restaurant I want to add these foods and I want to add beverage, okay, and I want to see if the 2D list is able to hold list with a different size. The answer is yes, we can do that, okay, because as you see from this execution that the first list contains 4 items, the second list contains only 3 items, and we are able to construct a 2D list. That's for today's tutorial, guys. In the next tutorial, we will practice some exercise just to recap and to test ourselves in collection data structure in Python.